Coming.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lott fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I don't know how far you can see ahead of you, but I can see ahead of me right here in our studios at ESPN Arkansas. You're listening to HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson with Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston here. We've got the whole gang together all over again. We headed up to meet the women's team to fly to Stark Vegas tonight. Nobody ever refers to it as Starkville. Literally nobody. I mean, even in the end zones at the hump, it says Stark Vegas. I can appreciate when municipalities buy into the joke. So yeah, we'll get that game tomorrow night. Got a big game tonight, 8:00, Arkansas versus Texas. 7:30 airtime with Chuck and Zim, and then Hog Reaction with Matt Jones and whomever else he can rope in to come on with him today.
I think it's myself and 45.
All right. Well, what are you going to be talking about when it's all said and done tonight?
Hogs win. Tremont Mark plays well, but the Hogs win a nail-biter.
You can never give up on somebody that gave your all even during a bad season like last year. Mark was the guy last year, remember? And it kind of hurt when he
went into
the portal.
For it. Man, I like that dude. He won us a couple games. I was impressed by the way he went about it while he was the Hog. Kind of always wishing him well.
Well, to me, this is the game that tells you what Saturday was all about. What the Kentucky game was all about. Was that really? Was
validation, and it makes it mean something. This is the most important game of the season. No question about it.
I always think the one that's in front of you is going to be the most important game, but it's like. The Kentucky game can be either our backs are up against the wall, our coach is, getting called out by an entire state. We're not playing very well. We get 3 of our guys even that are returning here to a place they played before, and man, they just went out and played like they cared. I'm not saying that they didn't care previously, but I don't know. It feels sometimes it's easier to say you care when you win. But best performance of the season. Does it carry over? Does 13 threes carry over? Does Big Z hitting 4 threes? Does 89 points carry over against a team that's a lot better, I think, defensively, at least right now, than Kentucky is? You see that. Ole Miss, you shouldn't be putting up 98 points normally, should they? I don't think they had yet, and not in conference. A lot of games in the 60s, the 70s, and look, Ole Miss can win those games, but you follow the trajectory of Kentucky basketball right now. And Arkansas is one of the reasons why they're a team that's on the downslope. Can't stop a team from scoring. And I guess we'll see if it carries over. I hope it does, because Moody's, I think that's a tough building to play. I think that's going to be a raucous crowd tonight. And I hope you get something akin to what happened at Rupp, because that means Saturday's game against Alabama will have just as much meaning. Otherwise, because this is a game to me you got to win. You got to start. Worry about getting into the tournament and all that. Just play well. Then Matt can have a good post-game show, and we can be happy tomorrow.
It's always fun to win. Each game that they win, each game will be bigger. Phil, the one thing that I like about this Razorback team is they're not sloppy. When you think of the Kentucky win and even some of the losses, we just haven't shot the ball well. But we don't really beat ourselves when it comes to kind of unforced turnovers. So if we can continue that, I think that'd be, and then we got to be physical and also you got to rebound. I don't know that they'll shoot as good as they did against Kentucky, but keep fighting and keep getting to the foul line.
I know this is an Arkansas radio show, but I didn't watch Kentucky Ole Miss last night, but I did follow a little bit of the score, and I followed enough that when I had to do a double take when I looked at the box scores. Like, you want to talk about how bad of a defensive team Kentucky can be right now. You know how many turnovers Ole Miss had yesterday?
4.
One single turnover in a 40-minute basketball game against a top 25 team. I don't know how long Kentucky's going to be in that category.
That was the bet of the evening. When we talked about it yesterday, it was like there's no way you felt like Kentucky was going to go in and beat that team. How unorganized, and who you say, Lamont Butler, their best ball handler's not playing.
Yeah, he missed another one last night.
It's kind of a contrast. Ole Miss doesn't necessarily have the best they got some dudes. They got some okay players.
Should be putting up 98 in the league game.
But they're connected. You see on the offensive side and the defensive side, they all know what to do. They're not the most athletic, but they have a high basketball IQ. Those players, they play smart.
Hey, you've seen this a lot of times before, and you can see this in a football season where it looks like a team that's playing really well through October all of a sudden has a cruddy November.
Well, they're not. They're a matchup deal, I think, when it comes to in March. As far as Ole Miss, they could get beat in the first round because I don't think they're that athletic.
That Dia guy for Ole Miss, I watched him shoot threes in that game, and he doesn't even jump.
He
stands straight.
He's like the big smooth man. He had a career game against us.
We're always impressed by those who can grab a rebound or dunk without jumping, or at least get up to the tiptoes, I guess.
That 8-footer that Florida has, we get to see him next year, man.
He hasn't been playing this year, right?
Wow.
He's 7'8"? Is that 7 foot? 8?
I don't think he has to. That's just wild. He's playing a different game.
Well, I only brought up the idea of a change from one month to the other. You remember that Texas A&M team from a couple years ago that was team number 69, out of the 68 that made the tournament, and it played the smallest, biggest, some sort of a violin for them. They had an awful January, and then nobody could beat them in February. So it's like you make your case there, but that means if there are teams that turn it up in February in a conference, there's going to be teams that fall downward. And maybe this game at Rupp is the tipping point for both Arkansas and Kentucky, right? To try to twist myself in a couple different directions here so that I can feel good about staying up tonight and watch this game. Because if you would have laid an egg against Kentucky, I would have been able to convince myself to make sure I got a really good night's sleep tonight with a road game tomorrow with the hump, with a show to host and everything, and I don't have to do the post game and all that. But I'm really interested to see if this win, where it felt like, and the more I think about this, the more I can agree, it felt like the Cal era started because we remember the big moments. Does it actually continue with a win on the road, or does it just kind of stop with that and then we look forward to next year? That's what tonight is about for me.
It's big time, man. This is a game. If you're a ball player, you're excited. You're looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it looked like Ty was looking forward to getting out. Did you see him with his hog hat walking out of here? How's he going on? He's
headed to Austin?
He's headed to, no. First of all, he crapped on Austin this morning on the Morning Rush. Said it's the most overrated city he'd been to. I don't know if I think he's more afraid of hippies. I think he's more afraid of, we were in Austin for women's basketball about a month ago. I instantaneously said, this has now become the best place to visit in the SEC, truthfully. And I think it's right there along with Nashville. I think you could put one against the other, and I'm not here to start that debate, but if you want to go at it, have at it. But there are some areas of Austin, and I guess this is the same in a lot of other cities, where it's got a pervading armpit smell. Not in studio.
Patchouli?
Yeah, I mean, you can
Patchouli's more San Francisco.
Well, it's probably a nicer way to say it, too,
gotcha.
because those two things do end up working in tandem sometimes. No, he's headed to Phoenix to what's the tournament called now?
Oh, he's going out
Trash
there.
management, waste management.
Yeah, keg stand.
Of course, he's going to that one. Of course, I've never been to a golf tournament, just like I've never been to an auto race. But my expectation is that any auto race, depending on where you are in the crowd, you might have a keg stand ready to go. This is the only golf tournament I know of that would fit in with it, which actually makes sense too, because now who's coming on with us? We got Clay Henry later on. Clay, the one and only Clay, Hall of Famer, sports writer, Hogs Illustrated, Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Be with us at 12 noon. And Grant Hall is coming up in a moment, and he is our golf aficionado. You and him together.
Clay knows
Clay
this,
too.
Yeah.
That's right. So I feel like I would have loved to make the trip to the Trash Management Open with Grant Hall. Do some keg stands, some body shots together, because body shots and keg stands are going to go together too. That's golf, right? Not just on Bourbon Street one night. Sounds like it could be a good time for Ty.
We're going to definitely turn it up to 11 because it is your boy Christopher Guest's birthday today. So we'll try to get a Spinal Tap song somewhere in here in the mix.
Literally right to 11 too. That's right. Plus your calls and texts at 877-377-6963. I'm going to go break like the wind, and we'll be right back on halftime.
The only green I like's in my quarterback, and that's Talon.
This is halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental. 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental. 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. My favorite sport is hockey. I love the ice, the sliding, and especially the hits, but I don't love those things on our roads. Winter weather is here, so slow down and drive defensively. But if a bad driver gets past your goalie, call me to make a power play against the insurance company. After 13 years of settling car wreck claims, I've got more than a few tricks in my hat. Call 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Stop it.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
with the Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
She was a sharp smile in a yellow van. She came around and I stole the dance in my youth. The vampire, Ellen shone white as roses stain. Came over me at bedtime, the blue one right on the moonlit light. Hit her in my eye, 85 down the road of a dead-end lane. She said, "Ooh, baby, take me." I said, "Ooh, baby, take me too." It came over at bedtime, moving on her down the dotted line. Elvis County now, 100 miles down the road of a dead-end dream. She looked over with a hard smile, caught up in a twinkle, it could take a while. And the money bar on the dashboard of the red. She said, "Oh, baby, take me." And I said, "Oh, take me too."
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer and sportscaster Grant Hall joining us on a Wednesday morning. Grant, good morning. How's it going today?
Going well, thank you.
You got it, man. Hey, when did the Waste Management become this big rowdy deal that would draw somebody like a Ty Richardson wearing a hog hat on the airplane?
You remember when they were doing the caddy race and the one guy?
Yeah, a long time ago. Really, ever since it moved, Gary McCord can remember when they played it at a more sedate golf course, and then they moved to this place, and it's wide open, and they have people. I mean, parties every night. And it's just a big party, but they have toned it down a little bit.
Is Scotty Scheffler going to be there? I saw Rory and Shane go 1-2 at the Pro-Am in Pebble. Are either one of those guys going to be at this tournament? Rory said he's going to play less. Do you think this be a year Rory could win a major or two?
I do, Matt. I think he's maybe off this week and then coming back to play San Diego. But I like him winning the Masters. I mean, when he plays the way he did at Pebble Beach in full flight, nobody can touch him. I mean, those drives he hit on the 14th hole over 110-foot tree and just reducing that hole to a par 4. I've never seen anybody do that before, and I hope he can keep this form because I would like to see him win the Masters.
He went driver 7-iron, Phil, and his playing competitor went driver 7-wood on the same hole. Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like
it's a different game.
I was going to say it sounds almost like Babe Ruth, where you're playing in a different game and you got to have different rules for that person, and maybe even change the makeup of the ball.
I mean, he carried it 340 or something like that, and this was, there was wind out there. It wasn't the best conditions, and I mean, with Rory, if he could just putt halfway decent and hit his iron shots decently, I think he's got a great chance at Augusta.
Hey, Grant, what does tonight's game mean for Arkansas? To me, it means, it answers to me what Saturday meant against Kentucky, if that's a one-off thing or if it's actually a turnaround. What do you think tonight means?
Well, I heard you say I think that you think they need to beat Texas twice. I'm not sure they need. I don't know that they need to win tonight. I think they win. They need 5 or 6 more wins, to get them to that either 7 or 8. Probably you'd feel comfortable if you could get to 8 and 10 somehow. To me, what's going to be interesting tonight is how much legs did the win over Kentucky have? I mean, to make 13 threes like that when I think their previous high was maybe 9 this year.
Well, and everybody played 30 minutes except for Z, at least the guys who started.
I think those 4 guys that played as far as 3, 21, Janelle, and Carter Knox, I think they're going to play 30-plus minutes. Those are the guys that I think we're going to have to rely on.
And I think Richmond, too, that was a big plus. I thought that maybe was the biggest play of the game, that steal that he kept alive.
He had 4 points, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like Cal said the other night, Monday, he said they come from everybody. And I think Adu, if Adu can start giving them more, then they could be pretty good by the end of the year. Boogie's back watching practice now. I guess he's out for the year, but wouldn't it be great if he could come back and play postseason or something, if they could get there. But, I mean, I don't see it as a must tonight, but I think they have to keep playing really well. And Texas, is favored by 7.5, and they've won 3 out of 4, and they've got this freshman guard named Trey Johnson who's averaging 19 points, and I think it'll be a really great matchup between him and Wagner. I think that could be a big key. Wagner, I thought, he scored 17 in the second half the other night against Kentucky.
8
and
assists.
He's starting to feel comfortable in that position now.
Yeah,
and then the other thing you've got is Tremont Mark, of course, who I just happened to be flipping around the day he hit that bank shot to beat Texas A&M, just like he did for Arkansas last year. And that's weird, going against him. I think he's averaging about 11, and he averaged, 15 maybe or something for Arkansas last year? 16, I think. So he's not scoring as much, but he's still, as we know, a very good player.
So keys to the game, I guess, be physical, see if you can hit some shots. One of the things that this team does really well, Grant, is we protect the ball. We don't really play that sloppy. Now, we're not hitting shots all the time we did against Kentucky, but we don't really have a lot of loose turnovers.
Yeah, and that, Calipari noted that Arkansas, I think, only had 9 or 10 turnovers maybe against Oklahoma, and really felt they should have won that game, could have won that game, but they only shot, I think, 37% that night. But that, I mean, some of these guys, it just felt like they all got confidence together. Now, maybe a lot of that was wanting to win for Calipari and the former Kentucky players, really being up for this ball game. But that's what I want to see tonight, is how much carryover they can have from the last game.
Well, that's what I meant. Does Saturday was that just a singular event that was just kind of encapsulated within just the 3 hours that they were in the building, or does it carry over? And that means you got to be consistent. And I think about teams that have a turnaround from maybe a bad January to a bad February. So much of it has to do with you find what it is that you do really well. And you accentuate that. I still don't think it's a team that routinely can just go out and just outscore an opponent the way they did Kentucky. I mean, they're going to have to defend better than they did as well. Thinking of defending the rim, defending the 3. So it isn't just about being able to outscore a team, because if you're gonna have a good month of February, Grant, you're going to win games in different ways. And and Kentucky's just a different story, a much different kind of a matchup than Texas.
Well, Kentucky had their second leading scorer out, too, and that was partly what I told Mike Irwin about 30 minutes before the game. I went all Ben Crenshaw. I said, I got a good feeling about this. Arkansas is going to win this game, And for some reason, I just thought they'd play well. I don't have that feeling as much tonight, just because, it's hard to win on the road. This is and by the way, Arkansas leads Texas something like 87-68 in the series. So that's something that they can, I think, be really proud of. All those great matchups through the years, and there was nothing that Eddie Sutton liked better than beating Abe Lemons. There was nothing that Nolan Richardson liked better than beating Sweet Tom Penders, as he called him. And so it's great to get this thing going again. Although Texas beat Arkansas 90-60 in that scrimmage. Remember when was it? Before last season, I guess.
That was when your boy Beard was still there, huh? Was he already?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, man, it's the Super Bowl on Sunday. Who do you got? Who's your MVP? Who do you got winning it? Kind of what is your key? What would be kind of your main key to this game? Although the Chiefs are 17-0 in their last one-score games, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, Matt, I think I'm with you. I mean, it feels crazy to go against Mahomes in Kansas City, although they're just, a 1.5 favorite. But I like Philadelphia. I like Barkley. I think Barkley was the MVP this year in the league, and I think he's probably the key for them. I mean, if they can get him going and having a typical Barkley game somehow, and then just not turn it over. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is good enough. He's not as good as Mahomes, but he can be pretty good. And I think if you just take away the two quarterbacks, I think Philadelphia has a better roster this year than Kansas City. So, but I know that that it's tough to beat that guy, man. It really is. So,
one of these teams, I have a feeling, is going to cause 2 turnovers. I think you might be on because both these defenses are just. I mean, they're two of the best defenses in the league.
But that's sort of, around here it's probably not popular to be against Kansas City because they're not that far away. But I really am pulling for Philadelphia, so that probably colors my prediction a little bit.
I saw today is the anniversary of the second Giants Super Bowl win over the Patriots, which would be their 4th Super Bowl win overall. And, of course, Eli Manning wins the MVP of that Super Bowl. I was trying to think of other sports comparisons to Eli Manning, who's now you got to have these conversations because he's on the ballot for Canton, and I can't see how he doesn't get in, but I don't think he'll get in on the first ballot. In fact, I think he may wait a little bit. I'm trying to think about.
Well, I mean, if it weren't for the 2 Super Bowl wins, I don't think he'd even be nominated. But
right.
Because of those, I think you're right. I think he'll eventually get in.
So here, Phillip Rivers gets in because I think Phillip Rivers.
Will.
Okay,
I think he will, just without the win.
But if you had to take, is this kind of your? If you had to pick a quarterback for a game, would you take Phillip Rivers or Eli Manning?
If it was the Super Bowl, I guess I would take Eli Manning. He's got the 2 MVPs. I mean, I don't have the data point to use that term for Phillip Rivers.
Dan Marino over both of them.
Yeah, sure. But here, I was going to do a comp. With Eli Manning. He's Jack Morris. Jack Morris would not have gotten into the Hall of Fame without Game 7 of the '91 World Series when he was pitching for Minnesota. I mean, he had kind of the same career, a lot of wins, but also you got to look at the defense and the other guys that were on his team because his ERA was high. I think Manning's a little bit of the same way.
Hey, Phil, I met Jack Morris one time at Augusta. He was there for the Masters. He actually bought our dinner one night. Really nice guy. Only time I've ever been around him. But if you could be assured that the guy that caught the pass on his ear hole of his helmet would make that catch, then you might take Eli Manning. That might have been the craziest catch in the history of the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. That's right. And so therefore you could say that Jack Morris needs to give a tip of the cap to Kent Herbeck. Because they wouldn't have even made it to Game 7 without Herbeck pulling Lonnie Smith off first base. Remember that?
I think he pitched a 10-inning shutout too.
I think he did too.
Did stuff like that.
I think he did too. But those things have to count. It has to come into it. It has to something you at least think of a little bit.
Hey guys, before I don't know how much time you have, but I wanted to mention a couple of things. One, congratulations to Maria Jose Marin, not only for winning individually in Puerto Rico on the Arkansas women's golf team, but again being named to the Augusta National Women's Amateur along with teammate Kendall Todd. I saw that today. So Arkansas is going to have 2 representatives in the Augusta National event, which Maria has already played in twice. So good for them. And then I don't know if y'all have talked about Tiger Woods, died at age 80, and Tiger Woods' mother was a really cool person. I'll never forget I got to watch Tiger play as an amateur at the honors course in Chattanooga, outside Chattanooga, Tennessee, when he was about, 19 or something, and 20 maybe. And she followed him every bit of the way. And I was kind of her eyes, she was only about 5 feet tall. And so she would constantly ask, where did that ball go? Where did it go? She was on every shot he hit during that collegiate tournament, which he won, individually for Stanford. And she was behind the scenes more, and Earl was out there, and he got a lot of publicity. But I know Tiger loved her, and I wanted to mention that too.
Grant, let's leave it there. I appreciate you coming on as always. Thank you.
Okay, see you guys.
Grant Holm with us every Wednesday on Halftime. We'll open up the phones and the text line as we get into the back half of this first hour. 877-377-6963. It's Nacho Average Wednesday at Joe's Grilling Cantina. It'd be a great thing to get over there and watch the Razorback basketball game tonight, 8 o'clock. They'll be open also for lunch today. And this is dine-in only, $1 off all nachos. That includes the 3-cheese carnita nachos, $1 off all beers, draft or bottles. That's today at Joe's Grilling Cantina. They're at 74th Street, Fort Smith, right across from Harps, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Now stay with Halftime, back after a quick break.
As being a fan, there's a fire that burns in me just like when I was 7 years old, my first game in Little Rock, Arkansas.
This is Halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
I love a beautiful, healthy lawn. That's why I use TruGreen. They take the hassle out of fertilizing, aerating, and controlling weeds plus mosquitoes. All you have to do is water and mow. Give yourself time back to do what you want. And to top it off, sign up by May 28th and save an average of $200 when you bundle lawn care and mosquitoes. Visit TruGreen.com for the best lawn at the best price, guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hello, this is
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your #1 sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu. Only at Taco Bell.
Shattered houses, shattered dreams, looking down at the stars on the street.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Trading season is fun. It's Super Bowl week, of course. It's college basketball season, but it's trading season too. Chris Middleton's been dealt by the Bucks to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. Thoughts on this
that
one?
That might be a money dump as far as I think Middleton re-upped not too long ago. You know, he's a little fool's gold, I think. Not that he's not talented, but maybe they're trying to free up some space because they got to bring another star in to keep Giannis happy. I think it's kind of you got Dame Lillard. If you can get I mean, maybe they go after Jimmy Butler. I don't know.
No trade clause can be a funny thing thrown into this stuff. I read where the Suns can't move Bradley Beal, so maybe they trade Durant. They want to try to get Butler. I don't know how this all works out. But no trade clauses can be interesting things. You know, LeBron has that. And I think, didn't the Lakers talk about sending him to the Warriors last year?
Had
they shut it down.
It. Yeah, he had a $6 million one. He took it off for Dallas, yeah.
That's interesting. Well, and then for the NFL, you've got Cooper Kupp being put publicly on the block by the Rams.
Myles Garrett
announcing he wants. So I feel all right. So he wants to trade from the Browns. I think he really just wants to not have the albatross of Deshaun Watson around his neck, because any player on that Cleveland Browns team does. It's just he's the one who's marketable, who they can get somebody from. I'm sure there's some other players that they can get something. You can certainly get a lot for Myles Garrett. He knows that, so he's played his last game with them. But it's not just to get away from the franchise. That's part of it, because that's a franchise that sometimes can't get out of its own way. It's really trade me from that quarterback who's got another Achilles injury that we're still paying him for.
Who's the last great defensive player to get traded? You know, I think Khalil Mack, if he got traded from the Bears to the Chargers, I believe. But
did Von Miller get dealt?
Yeah, was he at the end? He went to Buffalo, but it was I mean in their prime, you know, in their peak. I think Myles Garrett is Reggie White right now. Like he's the best defensive end. You think the Browns? If you're the Browns, you don't trade him in division. And you trade him to the NFC, right? Like, I mean, you don't trade that guy to anybody that you have to play.
I think you make a great comparison to Reggie White. I'm sorry, Reggie White. Yeah, absolutely, because that Green Bay team was not a championship level team until they got him.
Hear what Bill Belichick, I think, was at the Browns, I think, and he called Reggie White and said something, and Reggie White said, "Yeah, I prayed about it, and God's telling me to go to Green Bay." And Bill Belichick goes, "Well, if we had more money, would God be telling you to go to Cleveland?" He's like, "Yeah, probably so."
Oh, as I'm told, God's got a checkbook that doesn't need to be balanced very much. Here's Cecil, who's giving us a call. Cecil, good morning. Yeah, it's afternoon. Eastern side.
Good afternoon, folks.
Yeah, how you doing?
You know, well, still good morning. My bad. 11:39. Yeah, I had to jump in on that Jimmy Butler thing, man. Jimmy Butler, man, is a virus. He don't get along with anyone, coaches, players, and when he said his ways, he said his ways. I used to be like that. That's why I failed in the game, because I was hard-headed, and that's how he is. And when you get into it with a icon coach on the sideline and everybody see it in the world, come on, man. And then he just act like a little kid and don't want to show up for practice, don't want to jump on the plane with the team. He don't care about getting fined, and he costs too much. Would you pay $50 million for that?
No, this is the way that AB went out. Antonio Brown in the NFL after the trade to the Raiders, where it's like you weren't getting your money's worth at all because you didn't play a game for that team. But there were at least three other teams that gave him a chance because he can be so good when he's good. Now, something was going on with his mind that's a little bit different. I think Butler's just kind of always been a wild card no matter what, but he can still play.
Well, you kind of saw a little bit of it with Allen Iverson at the end of his career, and then he comes out afterwards and says, I should have taken a different role. Carmelo Anthony, another guy like that, just uber talented, and when the role starts to change, they don't know how to operate.
Well, yeah, he's cost himself some money. There's no doubt. I don't know how long the contract is. Here's just some. He can still play, so someone will give him a chance. It's just how long, Cecil, does that honeymoon last? Just a half a season.
I mean, right now the Heat have to pay him $48 million next year.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. And it's just the thing, Madden Field and Big C and whoever's in the studio. It's like
just us three.
How many people? Man, you got youngsters. The league is young now. The dynamic has changed for Jimmy Butler. He's going to get blackballed out the NBA soon. He's going to venture his way out because ain't nobody going to want him. How many youngsters right now, Matt Field, Big C, and whoever's in the studio, average 18 points? They do the same thing Jimmy Butler do. It don't even cost not a third of what they got to pay him. Now, who want to deal with that?
Right now, nobody.
I wouldn't deal with it if I was on it.
Well,
I wouldn't deal with it.
Yeah, I would imagine that nobody does want to deal with it. It's just there's usually a place where somebody feels like this is where it's going to change. We'll get to him. We'll get into his head. We'll make it all right for him. This is the place where it'll all work until it finally doesn't anymore.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Cecil. 877-377-6963. And it's. They don't want to pay him, but on the other hand, they don't want to deal with him either. Difficult things. Speaking of Pat Riley, did you see he is now allowing the Chiefs to use three-peat? Didn't work the first time that he came up with that. He came up with that after their back-to-back championships in 87 and 88, and then they got shut down 4-0 by the Pistons.
I thought he came up with it with when the Bulls did it. I thought he was getting paid from the. Was that not?
Oh, he got paid from the Bulls for it because he trademarked it.
Yeah,
and he was finally able to use it. Well, he wasn't. Was he running the Lake? He wasn't running the Lakers anymore when they had their 2 3-peats.
Yeah, he might have been New York to Miami or
That's
something.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't part of that, but he was making money from it. Yeah, I always think so the Chiefs do this so that they can put it on T-shirts, put it on coffee mugs, put it on all kinds of merchandise, put it on hats. 3-peat, Chiefs. You got to plan ahead in order to do that. But it has a little bit of a feel of like a pregame Super Bowl rap video sort of thing. The only team I ever remember that did one of those things where it worked in their favor were the Bears, the Super Bowl Shuffle Bears.
Not the Icky Shuffle Bengals.
No, that was just Icky who did that. Oh man. He would have been perfect
the Dirty Bird Jamal Andersons.
But Icky would have been perfect for today's NFL. He wouldn't have been flagged for every time he did the dance. He could have done it in front of the cameras and not over by the sideline. But I forgot why. Yeah, so it's I remember I saw a video where the Rams, I think the 86 Rams that played in an NFC Championship game, did some kind of a Super Bowl video that I never saw because they didn't play in the Super Bowl. The Steelers did this when they lost to the Chargers in the 94 AFC Championship game. They did a Super Bowl hype rap with Dr. Dre. We've never seen it because they lost. This has a little bit of that feel.
Yeah, the Carolina Panthers had that. Was it the Superman or whatever the pose was from? But they all did the picture. It didn't work out. We were talking about these NBA trades, Phil, and I just kind of glanced again at this Dallas roster. They have 3 bigs that are in the top 9 in block shots this year. So they're protecting that paint. You know, you see who else if they can go out and get any more athletes. And then the De'Aaron Fox trade, it's like nobody's even talking about that. I guess because the Spurs aren't going to win this year. But I mean that's a nice piece they're putting together right there.
Why? Can I just be a devil's advocate for a moment here? Why did the Lakers already win this trade? Why?
Well, nobody's won it yet. It's kind of like what we do with star ratings when we do the college football when you get the 5 stars, 4 stars, and you really don't know what that class is for 4 years. We won't know. Because it was the Atlanta Hawks and the Dallas Mavericks, Trae Young, Luka Doncic. It's all like who won that trade, who won that deal because they were traded on draft. We won't know who wins this trade for, I don't know, maybe 2 years. It might take 2 years.
The public relations of it has been disastrous for the Mavs. They've had season ticket holders canceled. They've been given refunds.
I don't understand it. I feel like there's something else has to come out because why do you trade a generational? You very rarely use this word icon. I mean, he is at the peak of his powers right now.
But there's also no guarantee that that Doncic even that it works in LA right now, that it even stays in LA for after this contract.
What if he's injured most of his time in LA?
It feels like he's going to be a Laker. The thing with Bron and Luka, they're just too good of players. The way they play the game, they're not in a way that even though they're ball centric, they're not selfish players. They see the lanes and they're both phenomenal passers.
877-377-6963. It's even we bring up the Doncic trade and just look at C-Lip's bottom lip.
I look green.
Look at that.
My face is green.
Do you see the pout on his face? The bottom lip was just like a foot out ahead of the upper.
Saturday night, man. I was processing. I was like, what?
Called coping.
Hey, you got 3 of the best shot blockers in the NBA right now.
He doesn't want to hear that.
It's not.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, Luka was the draw. They may win with this roster, but Luka was the draw. I don't know.
The Pirates traded Tony Pena to the Cardinals in 1987, and I cried. I was 10. I cried. It was Tony Pena. All right, he's not a Hall of Famer. They ended up getting back some guys, so it worked in the end. Initially, it looked like they lost that trade, and it turned out they won that trade. Doncic a little bit better in that case, but you look like me when I was 10, C-Unit. It's okay. It will. I'm not here to tell you it's going to be okay.
It's like if Dirk would have just if they would have just traded Dirk. I mean, in the middle of his prime. I mean,
Mark Cuban wouldn't have done that. Cuban's not really in the front office anymore.
He has nothing to do with it now. In fact, he wouldn't even give a quote. So he was contacted by a number of people asking for his opinion on it. He wouldn't even give an opinion about it. I got nothing to do with it now. It ain't my team, and he's a minority owner, but he has nothing to do with it now. Must have been painful for him too, because wouldn't he have been the guy that made the choice to trade and then to trade for the slot to get Doncic and did. Oh, Mark Cuban. He remembered when Tony Pena was traded. He's a Pirates fan. He's from Pittsburgh. He probably cried as well. He was just a couple years older than me. Hey, get over to the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo on tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. It's at the Rogers Convention Center. There'll be great vendors. You can get a look at all the latest gear and grab great tips at your next big adventure at the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Adventure Expo. It is tomorrow through Sunday at the Rogers Convention Center, and it is where your next adventure begins. Back to wrap up the first hour of halftime right after this break.
The President of the United States only gets 4 years. And we're giving Sam Pittman 6 years. Well, there you go.
This is halftime.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Nobo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
The best mornings
In the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I bought a ticket to your show. Did you see it, you know? I was standing in the back. The lights were low.
Welcome back into halftime. Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Okay, now watch the Cleveland Browns trade Myles Garrett for 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks, among some other pieces from a desperate franchise, like we saw the Cowboys do with the Vikings. in the late 80s. I forget the year that went down, but you could see it. The Cowboys were on the downslope. They make a deal for some. It looked like Herschel was on his way to Canton. And man, that's the direct point where things change completely for that franchise, for the Vikings, for Walker, for the NFL overall. That would be the kind of numbers you'd expect to get for a player like Myles Garrett. Although it's, we're talking 1988 NFL economy, Matt, and 2025 is a little different.
You're talking about the reigning defensive player of the year. I really think that he's up there with as far as when, I know it's a little different circumstance, but when Reggie White was making his free agent, you think back to Peyton Manning when he did his. I mean, he's as big as if they let him go. I mean, three first round picks. I mean, and 3 third round picks. You got to get like 6 picks in the top 100 for him if you're trading Myles Garrett. I think.
Now, you wouldn't question his conditioning. You wouldn't question his how good of a teammate he is. I mean, the guy's.
You'll do your meetings and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I don't think anybody questions how good you don't become the defensive player in the year and not have work ethic.
But there's a question about Doncic's conditioning.
I thought we were talking about Myles Garrett.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm just drawing a line between the two here.
Absolutely. But the thing is, though, people don't understand is he is uber athletic, but his game is kind of like the Joker. Like he's not athletic as far as, it's crazy because he's a superstar. And
Old man moves.
Yeah, he doesn't play above the rim. He's very heady. He's I mean, there's just nothing. Nobody ever speeds him up. Neither do they do the Joker as well.
Jay had texted in earlier about Jimmy Butler. Well, it was Robert. He said Butler's going to end up being blackballed. And I was thinking, Trevor Bauer is blackballed from Major League Baseball right now, and probably for good reason. And it isn't. I think it's a matter too of the players don't like him. They don't like him. There's a reason why he ended up becoming a clubhouse cancer. He's not as good as he thinks he is. Maybe Butler's kind of the same thing.
Yasiel Puig, all the soccer, everybody who loves soccer and know Mario Balotelli would be somebody that you would kind of compare to Jimmy Butler.
They call it baggage. Sometimes, you got to pay a little extra for the baggage, and sometimes you can't drag your baggage onto the airplane. They just won't let you. Second hour of halftime's coming up. Stay with us.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. I'm with Ethan at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Ethan, what promotion do we have going on?
We're putting on a 5K challenge. If you sign up during the month of February and ride at least 5,000 or more miles by September 27th, you'll win a gift card and a t-shirt. Riders who accumulate at least 5,000 miles and complete 3 check-ins will earn a $75 Wheeler Power Sports gift card. Fuel up, sign up, and hit the road. See our Facebook page for full details.
Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-479-4225 442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, expected to see cloudy skies at least early with a chance of some showers and even a few patchy areas of drizzle. Limited sunshine throughout the afternoon, low 60s north, upper 60s south. Partly cloudy sky later on tonight. Overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donay's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague launch fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Getting into your 12 o'clock hour, 1 minute after to be exact. Welcome back on halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. This is Phil Elson with Matt Jones and Christian Johnston producing. We get a text from Kristen Springdale about trades. Not always zero-sum games. They can be win-win. That's true. That's true. And that's why I'm also thinking, it's like, why are we already making judgments on this Doncic trade, Mavs and Lakers? It's like, you got to at least let things play out. He pointed to the Rams-Lions trade, Stafford for Goff. I don't remember what other picks or players were involved in this. It has worked out for both teams. I just also think that if Matthew Stafford was still playing for the Lions, if it was just 1-for-1, I don't know, maybe they would have made it to a Super Bowl by now. But I can see where you're coming from here. I think the Rams, the fact that they won the Super Bowl, maybe that gives them a little edge, but it did work for both.
I think back to that Ray Allen trade when he was did he live? I forget if he left in free agency as well, but when he was at Boston and then goes to the rival to the Heat, and then they end up winning the title.
Let's head right to Clay Henry, Hall of Fame sports writer. You can, of course, read him at Whole Hog Sports and the Democrat Gazette. We get a couple hours with Clay every Wednesday. And Clay, good afternoon to you. What's going on?
All good. Glad to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Of course, man. I saw Clay at, I think that was Saturday's baseball scrimmage at Baum Walker. You looked like you were about as happy as you could be outside of maybe being somewhere out on the water. It was a beautiful day, and Sunday was a great day to be out there, too.
No, it was great. And I so enjoy baseball, and you know I do, Phil. And I grew up playing baseball, and it's probably my first love. You know, and I've got others, golf and fishing and riding. You know, I've got hanging out with you guys is up there pretty good too. I mean, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. And that was, you're right. I was kind of in my element Saturday. Didn't have any. I was just doing research. You know, I had a sit down for Hogs Plus on Monday with Matt Hobbs, so I was kind of getting prepared and getting my game on. Trying to talk to a few people after the scrimmage. You know, that was my mission. But yeah, it was good to see you. I could tell you were smiling and happy too.
I was definitely in my happy place. Especially, I don't get a chance to go. I don't go into the dugout during games. You know, I'm there for a practice before a series. I'm there as taking BP, be up against the cage and all that, but not during games. So that was kind of new for me, to just be in the dugout during scrimmages, because they're keeping score. They're keeping the count and everything. You got a few fans out there in the stands as well. But I like to see, first of all, that's a team that's got some energy in the dugout, not just out of the dugout. You can tell the way they interact with each other. And I think the coaches also feel the same between them and the players. There just seems to be some camaraderie. I guess if you don't see camaraderie for a baseball team in January, you get something wrong already.
Yeah, but Phil, it's not as easy as just saying we're gonna we need to have chemistry. I mean, it's and that doesn't start in January. And I heard Dave Van Horn kind of explain a little bit on how he tries to build the chemistry and the way he sets up the locker room. Every other player is a new player. Don't put two of the returnees right beside each other, or three of them right beside each other. Let's split all these guys up. So you kind of force that interaction. And I've heard of coaches that have given a player an assignment to learn everything about another player. His parents, his grandparents' names, and and it's a team building exercise. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it just flops. You don't have the right guys. They're not going to do it. But apparently this team has, and I think that's what you're talking about, right?
I think you can see it, and I think that there's a real optimism around them, and they're not just being optimistic because they feel they have to be. I think they feel they've got real reason to be so. And baseball's the only sport, really, where you can just kind of walk into practice and watch everything. You actually could do that with women's basketball. Mike's always been really open with the practices. Couldn't do that with men's basketball for a long time. You get 20 minutes for football.
Nolan, his practices were open. Eddie Sutton's practices were open. So there's been some of that. But by and large, a lot of the basketball and football coaches are pretty paranoid. I mean, it's like, come on, guys. You can't think that I'm going to hurt you by watching practice. But some of them do.
So watching Saturday's basketball game, Arkansas beating Kentucky, you could see it felt like this is a team that cares about their coach, that likes their coach, likes to play for John Calipari, and I think that came through with the way that they played. Tonight's basketball game against Texas, to me, will sort of let us know, and I guess this is also win or loss. Just want to see better stretches of basketball. No, not those lengthy stretches without scoring or allowing those 15-0 runs. Admittedly, you're on the road and playing a team that's won, I think, 3 of their last 4. But this is a game to me that is going to inform me as to whether or not there can be some consistency of good basketball on a game-by-game basis. And really, it's not even just been game to game. It's been 5-minute stretches at a time, Clay.
Yeah, let's be careful at how we define all this, because and I get what you're going at, but I think that was probably a one-off, and I think that was one of those you catch it all right in the bottle. Can you keep it bottled up? Probably not. They have done a lot of good things of late, but they haven't shot it. And when you shoot 55% on threes and 55% on 2-point field goals, and you don't turn it over, I don't know that's something that's going to happen tonight or again the rest of the season. If it does, well then they're going to get on a run and win a lot of games. But I think that was, first of all, it's a lot of times it's about the matchups, and I didn't think Kentucky's defense was very good, especially without their point guard. They didn't have anybody that really could stay in front of Wagner. And everything broke down because of that. And they got shots. But it was really a unique situation where all the stars aligned and you had the superhuman effort by all of them. And it wasn't – look at the stats. Every single one of them shot 50% or better. I've never seen that on a road game at Rupp Arena. It was unique. And if they can do that, then yeah, it's going to be really fun. But I suspect that was a one-off.
You think Janelle Davis, do you think maybe he's kind of – I know Phil and I were talking about, we need 9 to be a little better if this team's kind of got to get if they're going to get on a run. What about Nelly? Do you think he's over the hump? Is he kind of settled in?
It looks like he's headed and trended in that direction. It wasn't just his first performance like that. The last one was like that too. I think it definitely helps both Wagner and Nelly to have the ball more, and you can say addition through subtraction, or however you want to define it. You miss Boogie for certain things. I mean, it's definitely the minutes. I mean, you're stretching these guys a little further, but it definitely has helped him to have the ball in his hands more, and I think for Wagner too. I just said that, so I repeated myself.
Who do you have on this team out of kind of the 6-7 guys that are really going? Who's the one guy that can't get in foul trouble? That we have to get 30. Is it Wagner?
Think it's probably Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who are you going to put on the point? I mean, Billy and Carter and Nelly, they can all handle it some, but they're not somebody that can take care of it for 38 minutes. And Wagner is that. And so that, but he's not a foul prone guy. I mean, he's not, he doesn't take risks with his hands. That's how you get in foul trouble. You start playing defense with your hands instead of your feet. Well, you're going to get in foul trouble. And he's played enough minutes in the SEC that he knows what's a foul and what's not a foul. And he's not going to make those silly reaches and try to block every shot. I mean, he just doesn't do that. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, but that's the guy that I would say you can't lose.
Here's Charlie. He's giving us a call. Charlie, what you got on the game tonight?
Man, I'm excited for it. Katuna's I told you yesterday I was dealing with the flu a little bit, and then I come in here today, and they got to pull 2 teeth. So Katuna's he's a little bit high I will say, but he's not going to say anything crazy on the air. He is here. He is in I'm full go mode, Phil. I'm okay. I ain't gonna embarrass you or say anything crazy or anything like that. I know you're already worried.
I'm going to let you dig yourself your own hole here, Stoned Tuna. Have at it.
But you guys were talking about relationships and stuff like that, and that stuff is built over time and things of that nature. You were talking about that, Clay, and chemistry with the baseball team. Is that I think this basketball team has had chemistry all year. I just think there's been a lot of things that's went against them. And we want to sit here and, look, I mean, it's just reality. You think about the injuries and all the different things that they've had to deal with. It's been difficult. And I don't care what anybody says, when you can't scrimmage, you can't get better. I've always thought that if you cannot practice, you're just sitting over there doing a bunch of you can't go against each other. You can't get better. And I think that's what they struggle with early in the year. I'll tell you, Matt, so you think number 9's got to get going for us, right? Is that what you said?
Well, I think he needs to be a little more assertive. I don't want him to try to be anything that he's not. He's our 6'9", 265. I mean, he's our BMOC, man. He needs to have that defensive presence. And I've seen him do it a couple times. Like, he's had couple moments. Sometimes, though, and as a player, if that buzzer sounds and you're always going to be the first sub, it's just you kind of got to get the right headspace, because I think potential, he has a little bit of talent.
Oh, he definitely is talented, and he's another guy, though, that was out for a while. But I will say this. I think when you think about it from a totality standpoint, I think Cal has made it very clear whoever's playing better in whatever game it is, he's going to play that guy. And I get your point. He brings him out, but there were stretches. I don't know if we remember when Z was hurt, and then there were a few games after that. He was not playing very much. I mean, I'm not saying he was full-blown DNP, but he wasn't playing. And I know his ankle was bothering him, but there was just times there where he kind of had to wait his turn again. The thing about Z, though, that I think he has on Jonas is obviously the ability to stretch the floor, and the 5-man has to honor that. And whether, and it just is what it is, and it opens different things up for Dutiero and Nelly and Wagner to get to the paint. It just does. And that's not a knock on Adu. Also, Big Z for whatever reason, because he's so freaking tall, obviously, and long, and he's fairly athletic. I mean, to me, he's been playing better defensively than Jonas has. The only problem he has, Matt, is when guys are bigger and kind of get into him. But as far as his help defense and his ability to block and alter and affect shots, he may have that on Jonas. That's what's been surprising to me, because I thought Jonas was going to be a little bit better at that than he has been. But anyways, how are you, Clay? I just want to say what's up to you, man. Anyways, I'm going to get off here and listen.
I'm doing good, and I think
Thanks, tuna in the sky with diamonds.
I think what you're getting at is on target, and I do think that if he sees something that's working, he'll ride it, and if he sees something that doesn't, and I think that's what good coaches do.
That's exactly right, Clay. That Coach Richardson was really good at that. Seeing some of those guards, the way he would who was playing that week, who had the best week of practice. That's who was playing.
Yeah, and see, I think that's the key from what I can listen to Coach Cal, that Z has really, since he's got healthy and they've had some practice time, and I think the week leading up to the Kentucky game, they had 3 practices where they got after each other. It helps conditioning. It helps, the flow, and I think that he has taken coaching the right way, hard coaching. It's interesting that the time of NIL, can you coach players hard? And I listened to Matt Hobbs talk Monday, and he said, we promise them we're going to coach them hard, and we're not going to be their best friend. We're going to do the hard stuff. And I think Cal's the same way, but he has the respect of the players because he does it in a positive manner. And I think that's the same thing. But he says, if we don't coach him hard, you should leave. In other words, the portal's there. He says that we're telling them that we don't think they're any good. If we're not coaching them hard, it's because we don't think they're going to play. So, but it's, I don't think that's what they do, but it's sometimes it might feel like that way. But I think Z has responded to coaching and accountability and, doing things the right way.
877-377-6963 to get with us here. I wonder if Tuna might have had a little too much mercury in his system when he called up.
There was something.
It's the first person who's ever called our show that's admitted he's stoned. But it was for other purposes. It's because he's, got something he's got to work on. We'll come right back with more halftime after a quick break.
When Matt Jones and Houston Nutt teams were playing back in the day, if those guys had 4 wins on their record at the end of the season, they still got in there and they beat the tar out of everybody.
This is halftime.
On second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in the field. He may go 25 to 20, 10, 5, touchdown Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards. The Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
False spring is in the air, so you got ideas about the summer and big road trips for the family. Got an RV in the back of your mind that you want to take on the trip. There are great RVs on the lot right now at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They'll take you through the entire inventory. You can always get them online as well at crabtreerv.com. Been doing it for over 70 years. Crabtree's right at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, and they've been doing it right there for 70 years and 4 generations, helping your family with the best experience. Again, online at crabtreerv.com. Calls and texts on halftime come in at 877-377-6963. Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us. Let's get to some texts here. JT in Hot Springs thought the ball is moving better and quicker with DJ Wagner at point and with Boogie injured. And Hogfan in Ozark asking, do you think Boogie's going to come back for a sophomore year after the injury or go to the draft? Matt, let's start with you first. Do you think that do you see the ball moving better without Boogie? Why do you think yes or no?
Well, this team they don't turn the ball over a lot. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, you're able. I've always and we talked about this earlier. I think you need 2 ball handlers, almost like when you look at Jameer Nelson and Delonte West when they were at St. Joseph's. Like you need 2 guys, just like you need 2 running backs. That way you're able to take a little bit of some of the pressure off. So I kind of like the flow of what they're doing. As far as Boogie going to the draft, it's, well, how tall is he? Is he healthy? What is his measurables? I mean, he's young and talented, and the way the NBA drafts on potential, because they'll draft you, and then he's not going to play for 4 years, and so does he want to come back and play, or does he want to go play in the Chesapeake League with Jordan Walsh?
Yeah, I think he's gone. You
think he's a lottery, or you think he's just a first rounder?
I think he's a middle of the first round, and I mean it's teetering on a lottery, and I don't think you know until your name's in the hat, and it's almost there if you're going to be a lottery or not. So I think it's a really tough decision for a lot of these guys. It's there's only a handful that you say they're lottery, and and
Cooper Flagg. The kid at Georgia.
Yeah, and there's probably a couple in France. I'm just joking. I have no idea.
They had 3 top 10 last year.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that. It's just like, and so you don't know what who's got their eyes on some of those players. We hadn't even seen them. But yeah, I think he has the ability to do everything. I mean, he can shoot it, he can handle it, he can pass it. He's got positive attitude. He's a worker. All the things, the intangibles, and it's like, okay, you said everything right, Matt. All those skills. How fast is he? How quick? What are the measurables? And then it's the Valentine. It's the heart, and he appears to have that. I was impressed in what he did at the end of the LSU game when he just took it over and gave them a chance. And their defense, to me, was what lost that game. It wasn't what they did on offense. The fouling and poor defense, and they've gotten that fixed slowly but surely. And that's what I've said. And I have a feeling that tonight's going to be an ugly game, that both teams are going to grind. That's what Texas does. They play a little defense. They've got a young guard that can fill it up, but I think that they'll do a good job of maybe making it a little tougher than he wants it to be, defensively.
Do you worry about the legs at all? If everybody's playing 35 minutes plus outside of Big Z, and I still wonder if he's going to be able to handle 25 minutes a game, if that's what you need, if that's what you got against Kentucky, and if it is that style of game. Look, I understand highly conditioned athletes work hard at this, but those last 5 minutes can be a real grind. And if you're a step slower than the opponent compared to 15 minutes prior, that can be the difference. And if they got a couple guys on the bench that can, give their dudes 7-8 minutes off, and Arkansas does not, well, that can be a huge aspect of why you can't turn Saturday's win into something that turns the season around.
Yeah, the guy that I've seen that gets to exhaustion, and then you need to get him out, and charges batteries back up is Thero. He plays so hard, and he leans on big guys, and I just think it's what they ask him to do is just incredibly tough. But I think he has that. I think that's the one I would worry about. Is he? I think that he got sick a couple of times, and I think that's what happens. Is when you tax your body past the breaking point, it breaks down, and you're susceptible to a virus. But I think that they're okay in that regard. I think that they're slowly but surely, Knox and Richmond are starting to add minutes, and they can't afford any injuries. I mean, they're right on the edge of not having enough. And there's no sign that any of the guys that are on the end of the bench are going to do anything to help this team. That this is what they've got. What's it? 8 guys, right?
That's 8. That's about it.
8's enough. That's my opinion right now. I think that is enough. They've got, and they just have to get something out of every one of these guys, like they did against Kentucky. That hasn't been happening. You're looking, there's 3 zeros, either rebound or points. And so everybody contributes. They've got enough. If there's 2 guys that all at once are zeros, well, then you're down to 6 guys, and that's not enough.
877-377-6963 for any thoughts on this. Do you think that the win against Kentucky is a turnaround? What are you expecting to see tonight against Texas? We'll get into more with Clay Henry about that and much more right after this on Halftime.
Matt Jones, sir, a player that I refer to that provided Hog Delight. You're a great ambassador for our program.
This is Halftime.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Mungo Lake Candy.
This is Halftime.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
Harry Douglas here, and if you're constantly on the go like I am, then earbuds are a priority. That's why you need Technique's new noise-canceling AZ80s. Like you, these buds work as hard as they play. You'll get Technique's legendary high-res audio, along with state-of-the-art noise cancellation, so you can stay in your zone. Visit us.techniques.com/sports to shop for AZ80s now. That's us.technics.com/sports.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3,
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'll keep your eyes on the road you have. the wheel. And keep your eyes on the road, your hand on the wheel. Yeah, we're going to the road, that's the Rio. A good time.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us as well up until the very end of the show today, which is 2 o'clock. 877-377-6963 is the number to call or text. Jay in Cave Springs love to hear the Doors there, Matt. One of his favorites from Jim Morrison. All right, what beer was he drinking when he woke up in the morning like the song says?
Probably a pull tap. You ever seen one of those pull taps? I've never seen one of those.
I remember even pulling a tab myself on a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi back in the day.
Yeah.
And worrying that thing was going to slice my hand.
Eat more chicken than any man ever seen.
I think he had a red eye. That's probably what he did. He dropped some tomato juice in his beer.
Him and Michael Madsen. You know, everybody younger than me thinks Val Kilmer was Jimmy Morrison, you know.
Just like everybody's going to think that Timothy Chalamet is Bob Dylan.
Well, what a flex. He comes out and goes, yeah, I had to put on 20 pounds to play Dylan. It's like, how little are you?
See, Dylan's going to be in Little Rock next month. Just announced it yesterday. Yep. That ought to be interesting.
Opening for Cake?
I don't think he's open. No, Cake is in June. You know how bummed out I am. No, actually, Cake is April. I'm going to miss Cake because it's the first game of the Texas A&M Arkansas baseball series.
That's their first night of their shows in Little Rock. They're kicking it off in Little Rock.
That's right. Clay, do you remember Cake? This is a band that came out probably like 30 years ago.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, it wasn't my thing, but I do recall.
Never Again, The Distance, Mexico. I love Cake. Big fan.
Rock and roll lifestyle.
That's right. I'd miss
short skirt, long jacket.
I would miss a game against the team that's picked to either win a national championship and or win the SEC to go see Cake for the third time ever. I'd probably rather call Arkansas versus Texas A&M. The preseason SEC coaches poll came out for baseball today, guys, and A&M is picked number 1, Tennessee is picked number 2, and Arkansas is picked number 3. Can't be a surprise about this either. You know, the thing is that there are no Razorback position players that are selected first or second team. You got, as far as the pitchers go, first team Gabe Gackle, second team Landon Beidelshees, and Christian Fauch. One thing that stood out to me, Clay, when I looked at this list is that virtually every single position player that has been chosen by the coaches for first or second team is returning to the same team. I think there's a couple of guys that might have switched teams inside the league. Not many transfers from outside the SEC, which goes to tell me coaches trust what they see when they see it in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a guy that did hits in fields in the SEC and in some tough venues, yeah, there's nothing else like it. And the teams from the other leagues, they'll tell you the same thing. The coaches will. This isn't like the SEC. I'm talking about the Big 12 or the ACC. There's some weekends that you're going to roll them up. There's not anything like that in the SEC. Maybe Missouri, but Missouri's haven't they been kind of a thorn in the side to Mississippi State and a couple of other places?
They surprise somebody once a year, sometimes twice a year. But that's the one program that really I don't
has
think
not matured. Yes.
Yeah, it hasn't. It isn't taken as seriously as the other SEC teams. You know, Kentucky was in that boat until the last couple of years, I think, and they were one of those teams like Mizzou. They'd be, well, look at how they're doing in the non-conference, and then conference starts and things fall apart. It'll be interesting to see if Kentucky can carry into that momentum. A&M will carry that momentum because they have basically the same team from last year, and they fall a game short of winning the national title. The whole controversy of Schlossnagle to Texas. That's going to be a really, really tough team. And part of the reason is because not just that they're returners, but they're returners who were really good in this league last year.
What I wonder about Texas A&M and the position players, I mean, they're loaded. I mean, they can score some runs. The pitching, that was Schlossnagle's baby. He was a pitching coach. I mean, without question, the way he ran the staff, the way he did it, he's gone. And we'll see if their pitching is the same, better, worse, whatever. I suspect it won't be the same. It's going to be one of those three, one of those two, either better or worse. But haven't they had some injuries at pitching already? I mean, that's the area that I wonder about Texas A&M. Without question, they're going to score runs. They've got the big bats.
I think for Arkansas, we have a real sense of what the starting rotation is going to look like. But I do think that right now there's a real question as to who is your Sunday starter. Now, you don't have to worry about that the first weekend because you get 4 games. So there'll be 4 starters. But you can only have 3 on the weekend. And it's really between Gage Wood and Landon Beidelshees. And it's also not a matter of, well, one guy's not pitching well right now because both of them are dealing. I watched them.
Those are the guys that stepped up the most.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, Wood
and they know
tremendous.
They know what they're competing for. It's to be that Sunday starter. Now, having said all that, we know that the chances of keeping 3 starters healthy for a season, it's just not reasonable to expect that. So I have a feeling that all 4 of those guys are going to get plenty of starts.
I think,
or innings. Let's put it that way. Innings.
Well, the idea about the injuries too, and it's not just like season-ending injuries or somebody's got to, miss a month. You had starting pitchers last year that had a nagging shoulder injury that just sort of crept up, or a knee injury, and that you missed a start or 2, and they weren't as effective, and it wasn't quite as deep of a starting rotation as was expected. I think this is. I do. I think there's about 6 guys that they could trust to start a game, and another thing that I've noticed, and talking with Hobbs about this, and I wonder if he brought this up with you, Clay. Christian Fouch is on the second team for All SEC as a relief pitcher, and if you're going to be an effective closer in college baseball in the SEC, you have to be able to pitch more than 1 inning. You have to be able to come on in the 8th, inherit a couple of runners, get an out, battle through that out too. Maybe, 8 or 9 pitchers or something, and then you got to go sit down in the dugout while your guys hit, and you get to come out again 10 minutes later. And that's not very easy to do. Sometimes the 9th inning can be the toughest inning, and yes, it is. But not every pitcher can just go out and throw to a batter, sit, and come back out and have the same stuff. And I've seen Fouch do this over these past 2 weekends. I think that's a big step.
Yeah, there's a lot of high hope for him. I'll just put it that way. And we went in depth, on about 12 guys. We did, Matt Hobbs, he went a whole hour, and he had another interview, and then he had to get to Swatters Club. So we called it quits after an hour. But I mean, he can go 2 hours if you want. I mean, and it's high energy stuff. Talking about Fouch, he was really careful to give praise to DJ Baxendale and Zach Barr, and that in the bullpen or in the, looking at the analytics, it's like, he's throwing a 4-seamer. I think I have this right. And they're like, we need to get him to the 2-seamer. And it just changed everything. And it was those guys are the ones that push for it. And it's like the sun came out on Christian Fouch. And, boy, they think he might be special. I'm telling you, and the scouts, you were watching that. The scouts were just drooling, when he pitched back-to-back innings, like you say.
Yeah, and he did it against Tyler Holland. That was fun to watch on Saturday because they just put a little situation together. We want him to come back out, see what happens after he sits down. And Holland is this freshman that just seems to be able to hit. He
he can pitch too, but
Yeah.
they're not asking him to do that. But at some point they may ask him. It's like there's enough on his plate just to hit. But he's good.
That was one of those moments where it felt to me like there was real camaraderie because both dugouts, and they're competing against each other. They're really keeping score, and I don't think they've always kept score in these preseason scrimmages, but they are now. And then not on the video board, but just like a little placard scoreboard. I don't think you can see it up in the press box, but down in the dugout, it's right there. Guys can see the score, and they want them to play to the score. And so they have Holland up there just, for a situation for Fouts to work with. This is like a make or break moment for this game. You're going to get this guy out, we win. You don't get him out, we lose. And both dugouts are catcalling Holland like you should treat a freshman who, shows up and is hitting like the natural or something like that. And it didn't feel forced. It felt real. And that's one of the things about today in college sports. We talk about how chemistry is so important and used to be able to build that for a year or two with guys just being around each other as long as they are. Now, I think that chemistry sometimes is just a matter of dumb luck, of a spark where you know what it's like when you meet somebody and all of a sudden you click and you can't explain it. You didn't have to work on it. Sometimes this chemistry thing is just dumb luck now.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you're onto it. I mean, every once in a while you've got the Oakland A's, and they all hate each other, and they still win. That doesn't happen very often. That Oakland A's team that was famous for. It was like I don't like him. He don't like me. We're not spending any time together. I mean, it's like we don't even want to be on the bus from the airport to the stadium together.
There's
But
something about like
they won.
The Yankees that won back-to-back world titles in the 70s. It was a 27-man roster, 27 different taxis would show up after the ball game is about how they would put it. They weren't really friendly, but you know what? They also won games. So that's also another indication right there. It's like, all right, they didn't just win one world championship. They won back-to-back World Series. With a guy, by the way, like Reggie Jackson, you would think of somebody like Reggie Jackson would be a clubhouse cancer since he called himself the straw that stirs the drink, and all the Yankee teammates are looking at Thurman Munson. Well, Reggie ended up getting traded quite a few times in his career, but just about everywhere he went, they won. That's got to stand for something, too.
The 44 caliber killer.
That was exactly who he
Summer of
was.
Sam, Reggie Jackson.
You craving
Mr. October?
Not Mr. May, which is what they ended up calling Dave Winfield.
Yeah.
Craving anything sweet and delicious, you can always get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. Their locations here in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue. They're in Conway, East Oak Street, and Dave Ward Drive. In North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. Looking to satisfy your sweet tooth, Andy's has the greatest frozen treats around. Right now, I'm thinking about the Butter Pecan Concrete. Andy's Frozen Custard blended with butterscotch and roasted pecans. You can get it right now at any of their locations within our listening audience. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk-up or drive-through, always ready to serve you. We'll be right back to wrap up the second hour of halftime in just a moment.
Hey, Phil, I want to talk a little Arkansas baseball because that is my passion. And trust me, I enjoy listening to you on the radio during games. I really do.
This is halftime.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Hey everyone, Erica Jensen here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Are you happy with your current office technology provider? Did you know that AAA Business Systems has been in business since 1979 and longer than any other provider in Northwest Arkansas? Listen up, I may be a Cajun girl at heart, but I'm a Razorback through and through. Call me today at 479-442-4185 to learn more about the one company that can truly change the way you work and remember anything else is just a copy.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats to your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Follow the power lines back from the road. No one around, so I take off my clothes. Am I the only one in the only world? I see the snake holes dotted in the sand as if some rocking the Rio Grande. Am I the only one in the only world?
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Back on halftime here, we got some Super Bowl anniversaries to look back at. Super Bowl 40, that was Super Bowl XL. The Jerome Bettis returns to Detroit, Super Bowl, Pittsburgh's 5th, beating the Seahawks 21-10. I remember a lot of Seahawks fans thought the fix was in because the referee. There were a few calls that certainly went Pittsburgh's way. I think I remember a couple of holding calls. I think Roethlisberger was awarded a touchdown diving near the goal line, and I'm not sure if the ball crossed the plane.
That was Sean Alexander.
Yep.
So we played Seattle. That's my rookie year, Phil. We played Seattle the very first game of the year. They came down to Jacksonville, and that heat jumped on them, and we ended up winning the game. And then I think they went 15-1 or 14-1 over their next 15 games.
Yeah, the Matt Hasselbeck Seattle Seahawks. Roethlisberger See, this is where he's remembered for the great win against Arizona. He was terrible in that Super Bowl against Seattle. Could barely throw it.
Second-year player?
That was his second year.
Yeah.
The only touchdown pass in that game by Pittsburgh was thrown by your boy Antoine Randall L.
To Hines Ward.
Hines Ward. That's exactly
what
right.
What a good grouping right there. And that's we've been talking about this Super Bowl a little bit, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
No kidding.
To me, that's where you got to play defense, got to run the ball, can't turn the ball over. I get all that. We're got to be efficient on third down, got to get in the right. But it's not about how many explosive and really good. It's about not making mistakes and not making the bad play. They're going to have man coverage on those two dudes. I don't know anybody in the NFL, Phil, one-on-one that can cover either one of those guys. So I think there's an opportunity to have some explosive plays with them.
See some other
talk about A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
It's
he's a full-grown man. He reminds me kind of like Anquan Bolden.
Yeah. He's going to make a critical play for you in both the running game and the passing game. Just understands ball. If you want to signal what happened to the Tennessee Titans when they didn't they dump him?
Yeah, because they got homie from Arkansas,
Treylon Burks.
Yeah, and then he can't stay healthy, which
didn't work. Yeah,
think about that. That team had
Hines Ward,
Derrick Henry, and A.J. Brown on the same team.
Yeah, they had those guys. You're right.
I kind of forgot about that. Heck, they were together 3 years ago.
Now they're coaches at New England, and who knows what Nashville Titans are going to do.
Yep. Well, Nashville Titans, yeah, we don't call them Tennessee. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I mean, I know everybody says you can't, that historically you can't three-peat. It's impossible. Well, I think the hard part's already over.
They got the better coach and the better quarterback, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, the better head coach for sure.
You make a good point. The hard part was getting to the Super Bowl because none of the teams that won back-to-back ever did.
None of them did. Yeah.
I don't know. Beating the NFC champion might be awfully tough. That's a really good Eagles team, and they're set up too. I mean, this is a team that's been good for the last 7 years. So a team that's set up for the future. They're young. Their stars are not old.
You have the best running back, not named Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry in the NFL. I mean, Saquon Barkley is just. I think he's kind of the type of season like this. You were talking about Eli Manning Hall of Fame. I think Saquon Barkley, very quietly, he's a Hall of Famer.
Clay Henry's a Hall of Famer, and he's with us for the last hour of halftime. As we come into this top of the hour break, you can get with us on the calls or the texts 877-377-6963, and halftime returns after the break.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. Whether you're buying a car, selling a car, or taking care of a car, we've got you. Be sure to follow us on Facebook to see how you can take advantage of $1,000 your way on select road-ready certified used cars with warranty, as well as buy 3 get 1 free on all tires in our Meineke Car Care Center. Start your new year right. Call, click, or come by today and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Happy New Year from all of us at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. We invite you to party with us all year as we celebrate 75 years in business. We are proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas area for 75 extraordinary years. Here's to 75 more. Happy New Year from all of us at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. We invite you to party with us all year as we celebrate 75 years in business. We are proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas area for 75 extraordinary years. Here's to 75 more.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, expected to see cloudy skies at least early with a chance of some showers and even a few patchy areas of drizzle. Limited sunshine throughout the afternoon, low 60s north, upper 60s south. Partly cloudy sky later on tonight. Overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by...
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lock fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. This is halftime, 1 minute after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, our final 60 minutes of the program. Phil Elson with Matt Jones in studio, Christian Johnston in our producer's chair, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry joining us for this last 60 minutes. You got Arkansas versus Texas tonight. It is an 8 o'clock tip-off. We'll have the pregame beginning at 7:30 with Chuck and Zim, and then you got Hog Reaction with Colton 45 and Matt Jones. Be a late night work, late night game. Hopefully it all comes together with another Arkansas win, and if they pull it off tonight, guys, it's their first set of back-to-back victories in over a month. And that to me means a little bit of consistency, and should hopefully mean, well, I don't know what it would mean again. We're going into Saturday's game because if Texas is playing some good basketball right now, and they have won 3 of 4. Alabama is playing at an incredibly high level, and right now you could probably just say Auburn, maybe Mizzou also playing near that same level, but one at a time, as we always like to say. And hopefully again tonight against Texas, Clay will find a way to, again, it's not about hitting 13 threes. It's not about, getting into the 80s necessarily. It's just about finding a way to win a basketball game, and I have a feeling it's just going to be a much different style game than the Kentucky game because Texas can D you up a little better.
I watched most of the Texas-Missouri game, and it was grind. It was ugly. I mean, they beat each other up and wore each other down. The defense reigned supreme, and it was an interesting game to watch. Right after you'd seen, say Alabama and Mississippi State, just trade threes for 40 minutes. I'd watch that game too. I want to see more out of this Arkansas team before I just make a judgment that they're about to roll, because I'm not sure that's the case. I think that it's just too hard right now in the SEC, and all the matchups are different, and we'll just see how they hold up.
My whole idea is now I don't know if 8 is enough. It's enough to win a game. I don't know if it's enough to win the kind of wins you need in order to make it to March Madness this last month. It's keeping your legs underneath you. I have a feeling it's going to be difficult to do unless Jonas Aidoo can give you 18, 20 minutes, unless Brazil can be out there for longer than 10. Same with Billy Richmond. I think there'll be games where it's fine for DJ to play 37, and it's fine for Carter Knox to play 34. It's not something that you can count on a game by game basis. I don't think they're built for that.
Well, I don't know that there's a huge difference between 9 and 8. And you laid it out, if you get top end minutes from Jonas Aidoo, it changes everything in a dramatic way. Just keep going back to what you thought you were going to get with him, which was an all SEC low post guy. I mean, there's just not many of those, and he hasn't been that yet. And is he going to be that? Probably not. But can he give you some minutes that change the game? Can he get a key rebound, defensive rebound? I mean, that's what you need to close out a game.
You
get a stop, you get a defensive rebound.
Is there potentially maybe something missing in which Aidoo could have been brought on for the Matt? You brought up some of the things about Aidoo that you like. He does have talent. There is size. There is strength. I think he can rebound. He can defend. But he also, I remember him playing at Tennessee. It's not that he would play like claws out and bite anybody, but he played grr. He played that hard-nosed, aggressive style of rebounding and defense that it feels like you're not getting from him now, and that could be the kind of personality that would, I don't know, kind of set a tone for a game like tonight where it might be a grinded-out kind of game.
When you have him and you're able to get in the screen game, there needs to be 2, 3, 4 times a game where he slips that, and if he does, when you have a Wagner or number 3, and you go around your man, and then all you got to do is lob it up to right at the front of the rim. He should have 4 oop dunks a game. When you think of the Mavericks did it last year with Gafford and Derek Lively Jr. I mean, that's the type of thing that you want to see. And then being a help defensive guy, understanding where the basket is, understanding your role. He gets lost a little bit on defense, and so I can understand why Coach takes him out. But understand you're there to protect the paint. You're there to get rebounds. You're there to cause havoc for that. You're not there to go up there and guard somebody, 25 feet from the hoop.
That's interesting, Matt, and I think you're right. I don't think he can guard the rim. When I watch him jump, I mean, it's if you want to slide paper underneath that bad foot, you better do it quick, because that foot's not coming up for very long. He just doesn't have the strength on that side. So he's, if he jumps off of one side, and I don't remember which foot it is, but you can tell the difference. And when you talk about how he played at Tennessee, let's be clear. He played that way last January and February. From talking to the Tennessee folks, he did not play like that, his first, year and a half at Tennessee.
When you had Ziegler, you had Dalton Connect. I mean, that team was such that nobody was really focusing on him, so he kind of got to excel.
Well, I'm just saying that he grew into the role, but he hasn't been that kind of ferocious guy in the paint for 3 years. In other words, this being his 4th year. So the injury really affected him and set him back. And I have not seen the same player. And you could say the same thing about Nelly until the last 2 games, and you start to see that. So you're getting some positive stuff from Nelly, and they have committed to him. They're running 3 screeners. where he swings it side to side, and they're starting to pick guys off, and they're legal screens, and he understands how to use those screens. He's run that system before. I call it the Pat Bradley look. And when Arkansas had Pat Bradley, they had one guy on the ball, 3 screeners, and he just ran until he was open. Same thing with Rodney Clark. Don't lose your mind. Get this guy the shots, and that's what they're going to do with Nelly the rest of the way.
Maybe I'm wrong, and this group of 8 is enough to go on a run. I just know you have to have something from everybody.
Yeah, no, that's right.
If you only have that many players, and the Tennessee win over Florida, I feel is quite a bit different because Florida's down 2 of their best players in that. They're nowhere near the same team I think that they were even a week or 2 before they played against Tennessee, but. The idea that you can do it with 8, yes, you can do it with 8, but you can't get a 0 from anybody when you're playing with 8 players. And Muss's team forget the year that you had 8 and you ended up going to the Elite 8. You got contributions off the bench from Trey Wade. You got contributions off the bench, from Kamani Johnson that year as well, from Chris Likes. You didn't get too many 0s or just empty 10 minutes from those players. And I haven't seen enough of getting enough from all 8 to think that it is a turnaround. That's what I'm hoping to see tonight.
Yeah, I think that you have to be careful. And like I said earlier, Texas is a defensive team. Kentucky was an offensive team. And it was a good matchup for Arkansas. And I mean, Kentucky was without their best ball handler. Butler didn't play. And they don't look the same. Let's just be honest. They've kind of slipped into a funk the last 2 games, and we'll see if they get out of it. But it's you never know about chemistry and how taking one guy out of the lineup how it affects you. We didn't know what was going to happen without Boogie. So far, so good, right? I mean,
2-1.
Yeah, and let's go back to, somebody said, will he come back? They were talking about next year. But the drive for him, from what I'm told, is to come back this year. And for him to do that, it might require Arkansas get into postseason play. That would be the right timing. So that he's cheering them on and say, I'm coming back, and I'm going to, get this thumb, ready, and he wants to play. But this is a dude needs to give him a little bit of something to get back to your original thought to start this segment.
877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Thanks to Tucker Construction and Remodeling. That's your source for all things construction, everything from tear it out to build it back. Mike Tucker and Stowe Ray Construction have joined forces. They're going to be doing everything from demolition, excavation, utilities, tree service, metal buildings, new home construction, and remodeling, to now their biggest investment of all, asbestos abatement. Trust their 30 years of experience of a truly local team to do everything from tear it out to build it back. You can call Mike at 479-650-6453. They serve all of the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, Branson, and more. Quality workmanship from the team at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. Again, the number is 479-650-6453. Stay with halftime. We'll be right back after the break.
She's a peacock. You got to let her fly, man. Or your girl, Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. It's like she's a free-range pony. You got to let her go, man. Let her neigh.
This is Halftime. Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do, our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Page for 3, it's on the way. Yes! Yes!
Happy New Year from all of us at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. We invite you to party with us all year as we celebrate 75 years in business. We are proud to have served the River Valley.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Done stand off fingers from the bell. Tell sugar how you feel. Yeah, come on, sugar. Stand your face until it's all about. We can keep up with the love here for so long. Whoa, and if all goes well, you won't have nothing. There, you dead wrong, and ain't long gone. Hang out for a minute and ring back. Question, tell me you've done just one, 'cause I can't say nothing. So, 1, 2, 3, got it, I want it, got it, I want it, got it, I want it.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry also with us here on Halftime, as well as Kristen Johnston, who's a Hall of Famer of a different kind. 877-377-6963. Matt, when I say 28-3, what do you think of?
Oh, your boy Shanahan.
Yep, happened today. Is that that's the first guy you think of? Him?
Yeah, it's the worst. So there's two really. Go ahead, Unit.
When you say 28-3,
yeah,
the Falcons and
that's right,
and the Patriots Super Bowl.
That happened today.
The two worst call. I mean, the single worst call is Russell Wilson not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. But
I knew you were going there.
The single worst half, Clay, I don't understand. You're up 28-3. We are running the ball and we are running the clock. I didn't have the second half play calling. I couldn't believe it.
You 3 and outs with 2 incomplete passes, and the guy ran out of bounds.
It took 12 seconds off the clock, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's like all you have to do is have about 3 drives where you take 5 minutes off the clock, and it's over.
Yep, get 2 first downs each time you get the ball.
Yeah, he played right into their hands, no doubt. And I mean, and once you got about midway in the third quarter, you could tell what was going to happen. But they had already what they called messed in their nest those first 2 possessions by not running clock.
That's what they call it now. I know what you meant. I'd never heard it before, but it does fit fairly well. Messed in their net. They did. They absolutely did. You're right. There's no 2 ways about that. And you can't ever outlive that either. I guess unless when you finally win one, you got to win one first, and the Falcons haven't even made it back since. And anytime the score at a Falcons game is 28-3,
there's remorse.
Oh, it's like anytime I look at foul territory first base at any baseball field, I think of the pop up. You can't help it. You can't help it.
The Bermuda Triangle.
You can't help it. But yeah, that was Super Bowl LI that took place today, 2017, NRG Stadium, Houston. Brady was the MVP. Luke Bryan sang the anthem. President George H.W. Bush and his wife, former First Lady Barbara Bush, were the coin toss. Lady Gaga sang the anthem. And it was on Fox with Buck Aikman, Aaron Andrews, and Chris Myers. Of course, we're going to have a Super Bowl with Tom Brady on the call, along with Kevin Burkhardt this Sunday. Here's Roger Goodell was asked about the various conflicts that Brady's had to deal with and how he's actually contacted the league office about this a lot.
Everybody in the National Football League, owner to personnel, still subject to tampering rules and other policy. They're responsible for that conduct, and they're all held accountable for that. In the case of this actual transition, as you know, we had special rules that were designed for this, for some of the concerns that some of the ownership had on this, and to make sure, as we learned a little bit more about this, where could there possibly be any kind of conflicts? That's something that, we'll obviously consider in the offseason and think about that. Should that policy be adjusted? Should something be added or subtracted? But right now, Tom has been incredibly cooperative. He calls frequently about it and says, am I doing okay? And I think he's serious about making sure that he separates these two and he doesn't put the league or anyone in a position of conflict.
So I know he didn't have access to players' meetings, coaches in the regular season. He does have access, however, with the players and the coaches, though not access to practices for this Super Bowl. And this is a unique thing. I've never heard of anything like this before, where a part owner of a franchise is on the call for anything. And maybe the only thing I can think of that comes out with this, and I wonder what Clay thinks about it too, is Frank Broyles calling national games on ABC while he's still the athletic director at Arkansas.
That was unique. But you know what? There was no real talk about it. And, we have similar situations now where you've got ADs and you've got that are on the college football selection committee. And it causes a mess because they've got to recuse themselves and go out into the hallway. I found out, Bill Hancock told me that he made that recusing thing pretty good in that they had a room to the side that had mounds and mounds of bacon. And so when you recuse yourself, you got about 40 pieces of bacon all by yourself.
Something to keep you occupied.
Yeah, well, that's the best form of comfort food there is, bacon, I think. Bacon makes everything better. Bacon and better are a cook's best friend.
Yeah, sometimes in the very same dish. I think Brady's done well as a broadcaster. I think he's improved.
Yeah, he doesn't have a pizzazz. in my opinion. He doesn't have the, that magic it thing. And I think Romo had it. Collingsworth has it. There's some guys. Terry Bradshaw has it.
What he has is excitement. You can see him. You can see that he's excited about what he's
He
called.
likes it, yeah. But I think he misses the excitement, pizzazz thing by just a hair. And he may grow on me. Now, I'm not a Brady guy, so that he's up against it to try to make points with me. So that's, I can't help it. That's just me.
Well, I wasn't a Brady guy either while he was playing, but eventually I had to just give in. Be like, I'm gonna enjoy this while I get a chance to watch it, because I don't know if anybody will ever do this again. But it's different coming in as an announcer, and it just feels, it's not fishy. It's like you could say, well, maybe I could trust him to make sure he's doing the right thing, but then it's also like, well, Deflategate did happen, right? Did he not know anything about that? I have a feeling he did.
No, he did. That was his deal. He asked for it. He got it done. I mean, they didn't do it without him saying, "This is what I need."
I just feel like you got to choose one or the other. You either be a part owner and an executive of a team, or you be a broadcaster.
Yeah. Now, let me say this about Deflategate. I think it was much to do about nothing. And I think that's been happening since the beginning of time. Footballs have been set up the way the quarterbacks want them. And if one team wants to have them a little deflated, I'm not against that. That's not the same as beating the drums and stealing the signs like Astros did.
Or Spygate.
Yeah, not nearly the same.
I always have to put a gate at the end of it, of course. Well,
in my opinion,
I can understand the reasoning for why you want the most famous player in the history of the sport to be on the call. But there's just a lot of it. There's a lot about it that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. For one thing, the way that Greg Olson was done by this, because I think he was tremendous, and I think he said all the right things about it. Not that he said anything wrong about it recently, but the guy was just gypped in a way that I don't know if anybody should have been. And
usually there's a reason why a guy like that loses his job, and there wasn't one.
Because you're no good at it. But he's terrific.
Yeah,
he's terrific. And I don't know. It's like you be an owner or a broadcaster. Be one or the other. I don't think you should or could be both. And I can't even imagine that when Fox signed Brady to this contract, there's like, well, eventually you would figure maybe he'd get into ownership. Is this nothing that you actually talked about with him or with the commissioner too? I mean, it's not like he's just on the radio broadcast for the Raiders. That'd be a different thing. And we were talking about being on the #1 telecast on one of their major network partners, which of course means you're going to call a Super Bowl. What happens if the Raiders actually play in one? Please tell me that if Brady is on Fox and the Raiders actually make it to a Super Bowl while he is a minority owner, he can't call that Super Bowl. Like, no way.
Well, Phil, I think you're missing one of the fundamental things in life here. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but the folks at the TV stations don't ask any of the rest of us, including the commissioner, what they're going to do. They just do it. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. And I'm being a little bit sarcastic, but I think that Fox really didn't care what Roger Goodell said. And they, we'll figure this out and we're going to do it. And they did.
It's the same thing that Fox has done this before, because they had Derek Jeter doing not on game broadcast, but studio World Series broadcast
analyst stuff
while he was general manager of the Marlins. You don't ask his opinion on how to run a team, because they didn't really do very well while he ran them. Playing in the World Series could be a different thing. Jeter knows all what that's like and what it's like to win those games. 877-377-6963. You want to get with us here on Halftime today. WT Equipment, that's your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. At their 8 locations, you can explore the value of New Holland tractors or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. You need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet. Call WT Equipment today or stop by any of their locations or their website, WTEquip.com. WT.com. WT Equipment is your partner in progress. Into the home stretch of halftime and back after this.
I just don't understand why people don't turn their blinker on and just think it's okay to stop in the middle of the road.
This is halftime.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Looking for a new home in the heart of Northwest Arkansas? Head to the Cottage at the Park. These beautiful homes by Buffington have direct access to a 120-acre park and offer maintenance-free yards. That means free time can be spent watching the hogs, traveling, playing in the park, or just enjoying a weekend without yard work. For relaxed living at its finest, Cottage at the Park is the best move you'll make. Visit BuffingtonHomesAR.com/hogradio for details.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wackernussen dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wackernussen dealer.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
passion, the sweeter the pushing. That's what I said. The looser the waistband, the deeper the quicksand, or so I have read. My baby face felt like a flex tuxedo. I like to sink her with my pink torpedo. Big bottom, tall bound bone cakes like a got 'em. Big bottom, try me.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Every once in a while, we turn it up to 11 here on Halftime with a happy birthday to Christopher Guest. That's Michael McKean singing the song, though.
He just turned to Luka Doncic.
77.
You think he's going to stay double stay? And it kind of almost looks like Foo Fighter a little bit, too. You think he stays 77 there with the Lake Show?
Is there a 77 with the Lakers? You're going to have to buy that number from somebody? I don't think there is. Why not? Why not keep 77? It seemed to work for him in Dallas. It's a fun number. That's a hockey number.
Well, it's the most famous running back ever. Red Grange.
He wore 77. I was unaware.
Yep.
I thought you were going to go to the Syracuse cat that was number 44.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the 77.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see 77 on somebody's back, you say Red Grange. At least that's what my dad did.
How many out there knew immediately when Clay said the most famous running back of all time that it was Red Grange, and then he wore 77?
Yeah, I mean, he's not the most famous, but that's kind of the
most famous that wore 77.
That wore 77.
When I think 77, I think former Penguins defenseman Paul Coffey. That's why I think of a defenseman.
That's fair.
Always.
That's fair.
He was. I was thinking. So we had the skills challenge essentially in the NFL Pro Bowl games last weekend. NBA coming up soon. I remember the first time they did an NHL skills competition. I think Paul Coffey was the fastest skater, and that thing will work. Hey, we can all get with speed. We need to make sure we keep it up with speed because hockey's the fastest sport there is.
Speed kills.
Arkansas Dave in Mount Ida has given us a phone call. Hey, Arkansas Dave, what's going on?
Hey, Phil, how's it going? Matt and Clay.
Good.
Phil, did you grow up a Steelers fan? Did you grow up in Pennsylvania, Phil? You texted me a while back.
Born and raised Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but lived here 24 years. That's longer than I lived in Pittsburgh.
Okay, Russell Wilson's first year as a Ham. How would you rate him, first of all? And are they ever going to play Fields? Did Russell sign a 2-year deal? Just kind of go over what you thought Russell's first year was like, in your opinion, being a Steelers fan.
I mean, I think he jump-started their offense at first, but he just couldn't keep it going for a while. And honestly, I'd stick with Fields now. I think Wilson's I think he's a free agent now. I don't think they'll re-sign him. I think they'll stick with Fields and then see what they can get in the free agent market to potentially battle for playtime with him or back him up.
It was a one and done pretty much?
For Wilson, I think so.
And then growing up in Pennsylvania, the Eagles and Steelers fans, like if you go, is there a certain part of the state where they hate Pittsburgh versus Philly? I mean, I'm sure if you go to Philly, was that a big thing growing up?
There's a real rivalry between the two sides of the state. It feels like different states, to be truthful. But there's not like a real if you talk rivalries between those two cities in sports, it's more hockey. And baseball, Phillies and Pirates have played for over 120 years. There's not really like a thing between those teams. There used to be in the 70s, maybe a little bit in the 80s. Steelers were terrible when they were in the NFL before the merger. They were awful. In fact, I think during World War II, there was a season where the Steelers and the Eagles actually became one team and were called the Philly Pitt Steagles. Yeah, that's like their only history, truthfully, because there's no hatred between that.
That's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode right there.
They knew about it.
Are you and Matt going to give your picks for the Super Bowl on Friday, Phil?
Well, I think we'll have to. I don't think you can do a sports radio show and not at least have a real pick for the Super Bowl by Friday.
Who do you like? I'm thinking the Birds.
I wanted to tell Matt that I gave the Chiefs fans a nickname, and I told Ty and Tommy they loved it. You want to hear it, Matt? I call them my homies. How you like that?
Oscar De La Homie.
No, but put the S on the end of the Mahomes. Like that's the fan base. Call them.
I like to call them the three cheats.
And will Kelsey retire, Matt, after this year? He's got billions. He's with Taylor. Never have to worry about money for injuries and his health. You think he'll hang it up, Kelsey?
Ooh, that's emotional. I don't know, man. At most, what do you think? He has 1 year left, anyways. I don't know. I don't know that I would want to go on tour, so to speak. I'd play football as long as I can.
Well, I know, but I mean, just injuries and Taylor's money. I mean, he'll have it made. He'll never have.
I could see it. I heard he's paying $3 million for his suite at the Super Bowl. So if you're spending money like that, you probably better keep working.
Have they combined their incomes yet? Might as well.
No, but she picks up the check every once in a while.
I think with a combined income between the two of them, they might actually be. Who knows? Maybe they could be part owner of a team, and then Kelsey can be a broadcaster too. But he'd have to go on CBS because you can't have. He wouldn't be on the B team.
So what's Jason Kelsey think about all this? You know, you just talked about Tom Brady being in the Super Bowl. I mean, that was Mr. Eagle. As far as I wonder, is he going to be? Is he a Fox guy or he's an ESPN guy? Huh?
He's an ESPN guy, and I think he's just like he's a Kelsey guy, and he's a. Look, he's the guy that I could see being the spokesman for the Mayo Bowl, right? And just dumping the mayo all over himself, or the peanut butter bowl and taking a bath of peanut butter, something like that. That to me is Kelsey. But this also, I was looking at this earlier. This run the Eagles run, there's so much about the run that the Chiefs run, and for very good reason. But it's mostly with the same guys, same coach, same general manager. Same quarterback.
Was it 2 years ago that they started off like 9-1 and then lost 8 in a row or something, and they were like, "We're going to fire the coach"?
That's
and
right.
Now this year, it's like
I think it was last year that went down. That was last year, and there were even talking that Sirianni and Hurts are not on the same page. These guys are getting at each other.
The crowd they were number one, like they were getting into it a little bit. I think.
Well, you got to give them back to the Philly fans every once in a while.
They are birds, so why not flip them?
Yeah, there's a very special bird that they can be shown every once in a while. But if you look at this run they've won, I mean, they win a Super Bowl with a different coach, with Peterson, and a different quarterback, and a whole different makeup to the team and everything. I mean, you lose your Hall of Fame center and still make it back to the Super Bowl 2 or 3 years later. To me, look at how they draft, especially defensively. I mean, this is a young team with a general manager, by the way, that Howie Roseman, this guy gets it. How to put a team together in a really tough division. The Eagles, to me, are kind of set up for a while here. I don't know if they win this game or not, but I think they're set up to play to make it to the Super Bowl next year.
I got a baseball question for you real quick, Phil.
Yeah, go ahead, Arkansas Dave.
For Clay and Phil, what's the rules on the Hall of Fame for baseball? Can Pete Rose, I know you say he deserves it, but can he be posthumously? Is there a rule saying if you're dead you can't make it? I mean, I'm saying, and I know how you feel, Phil. You said he should be in there. Is there a rule saying he can't be in there now? Is it too late? Or?
Arkansas Dave, I appreciate the phone call and appreciate the question there. It's 5 years after you retire, and then you get 10 years on the ballot as long as you get at least 5% each year of the vote. Then you can stay on the ballot for 10 years, and then afterwards it's up to the various forms of veterans committees that they have depending on the era that you play in. But you also have to be eligible. That's the word. In order to be considered, you have to be eligible, and Rose is not eligible. So they can't vote for him right now. If they voted for him, I don't think they would count. So first somebody's got to make him eligible, meaning a commissioner. And I don't know if I see that happening at the time being. As far as football and some of the others, I don't remember if it's the same amount of time. I think head coaches get 3 years after they retire instead of 5 years. But yeah, there you go. I don't know if Rose will get in, but he's got to be made eligible in order to be voted for.
I don't think he'll ever be in.
He'll be the cautionary tale.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is the thing. You see Major League Baseball just fired an umpire, Pat Hoberg, for gambling on other sports. I think I saw where it was over $700,000 in wagers that he had placed on other sports. But it's also the idea of any kind of influence of gambling for somebody that's an arbiter of the sport is going to that's going to raise questions about whether or not you're you're in to officiate the game, or you're in to officiate for other reasons?
Well, they know that whatever money he's making, he's gambling.
Well, that's true.
He's betting $700,000.
That's also part of it as well. It's not necessarily the win and the loss. It's you could end up. Well, I guess it'd be different nowadays because this is legal gambling, as I understand for Hoburg. But with a guy like Rose, it's all illegal. And say you end up in for $1 million to somebody that's going to come break your ankles, break your knees. You feel for your life, and the next thing you know, you've got somebody that's got a lot of influence on you to potentially influence your decisions as to what you do in whatever situation for the game or who you're starting on the pitcher's mound. This is different with Hoburg because they just had a direct line to his credit card, so that's how legal gambling is done now, and it's all changed. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts here on halftime. Let's see. George Mikan was number 77. Now, was he really number 76? Because I remember I don't remember how long ago the NBA allowed you to have numerals that were higher than 5. I just remember you had to have numerals that were 5. I think college changed that a few years ago too. George Mikan. He was the one with the giant glasses who played center for the Minneapolis Lakers. And would still be, I don't know if he'd be on the short list of greatest centers of all time, but I don't know if there was anybody as tall as him when he played. 77. So George Mikan wore 77. I couldn't find any others. Those are the only ones we have. Hey, if you downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, it is always brought to you by Taco Bell. You can listen to all of our shows. Chuck and Bo in the morning rush right after, halftime, then Ruskin and Zach. All of our podcasts are available on the Hit That Line Now app. And you can watch all the shows because we've always got these cameras on us that are watching our lips move. It's brought to you by Taco Bell, where you can satisfy your daytime cravings with the Cantina chicken menu lineup today. Now stay with halftime. We'll be back and wrap up the show in just a moment.
Man, I love y'all, man. I'm telling you, y'all really help me. Y'all get me through the day every day.
This is Halftime.
Experience the excitement at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Join us February 14th for the Valentine's Extravaganza, where you can win a share of $21,000 in hourly drawings from 5 to 11 p.m. Plus, enjoy a special performance by Sarah Evans at Lee Creek Tavern. Every Saturday in February, take your shot at $15,000 in hourly drawings. Don't miss the big game on February 9th, then try your luck on the casino floor. The fun never stops at Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. Come play today.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kymco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keeping the good times rolling.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
It's Todd Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses. We do logos, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jasco. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
ESPN Arkansas is proud to partner with Arkansas Children's Northwest for the Miracles and Magic Mediathon. Together, we can make a difference for local kids. Every donation directly supports the expansion of Arkansas Children's Northwest. A big thank you to our presenting sponsors, Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Visit crabtreerv.com. Heartland Honda Power Sports and Marine in Springdale. Adventure starts here. And Schlotzsky's, the perfect partner for your event catering needs. Donate now at hitthatline.com and let's make a difference together. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Shake down. I can't say cool kids never have a clue. Like what right up off the street, you lie to me. You bought me. And like morning shall never see an end.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I had forgotten to even let you know about the line for today's Arkansas-Texas game. Texas favored -6.5 on BetSaras and -350 on the money line. Over-unders 141.5. And all sorts of various prop bets pertaining to the method of the first basket, first 2 minute specials, all kinds of prop bets. And you can also get your in-game betting as well on BetSarazin. Works on your iPhone. Just download from the App Store. You can get it for Android users, Google Play, any web browser as well, betsarazin.com. We got bad information from Micah and Harrison. George Mikan wore number 99, not number 77. I can't think of a basketball player that wore 77. 99, I mean, because it's the very last one. That's like a Zebulon Vermillion, if you remember that former Arkansas pitcher.
Warren Sapp
was 99.
It's one of the ones I go to, yeah. And it's also called a Greg Maddux when you throw a complete game in under 100 pitches.
That is right. That is it's nice to have a stat named after you in a good way. The different from the Mendoza.
That's a gangster stat.
I knew you were going Mendoza. I knew you were. Guy that bats under 200, right?
Like 171 or something. He's like,
well, Mario Mendoza. I think Mendoza's career average was more like 220, but George Brett called it the Mendoza line 200. I saw somebody a week ago thought that maybe you might want to rename it the Euchre line. Because Mario Mendoza, I saw he managed in the Texas League when I worked for the Travelers, do not mention the Mendoza line to him. Like, don't. He's one of the nicest guys. He's a great infielder, but he couldn't hit. He did not want to hear about the Mendoza line. Euchre would make a joke about it Because that's basically what he built his humor around. Like, it would have worked perfectly if they would have named it the Euchre line.
You know, if you really want to do chuckles, just go to YouTube or enter TikTok or whatever and just do Euchre and, you know, find those Johnny Carson skits.
They're doing Euchre moments on that Roku channel that I see with Carson. It's 24/7 Carson on this Roku channel. And they've got, I mean, they've dropped in all these Euchre moments now, Matt. You've probably seen it too.
I haven't seen Euchre yet, but it was Carson at 9, and they were 1 hour versions. Now this whole week it's been Carson at 10, and they're an hour and a half shows. So they're messing with me. You know, I'm a creature of habit. I had to put the chickens up because Carson at 9. Now it's at 10.
The episode I saw yesterday had Philip Michael Thomas from Miami Vice and Joan Rivers on the same set. Philip Michael Thomas, who was Don Johnson's partner on Miami Vice, he liked himself some himself. He predicted on the show that he was going to win an Emmy, a Grammy, a Tony, an Oscar, an EGOT. I don't think he has any of them. Maybe he got an Emmy. Maybe he got an Emmy from Miami Vice, but I doubt it. It's kind of fun. All right, last thoughts on this basketball game tonight. Matt, we'll get your thoughts, of course, post-game and Hog Reaction. Clay?
Yeah, I think that this is one of those that they'll have to make a play at the end, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think they'll match their shooting because Texas is better. It's all about matchups. You know, there's some games that you don't like the matchup. I liked the Arkansas matchup against Kentucky because of their defensive liabilities. Texas doesn't have that. I think they'll have a harder time getting the kind of shots they did against Kentucky. But I may say I changed my mind if Nelly hits the first shot like he did. He drains the three right out of the gate like he did that last game. I think that's confidence is everything in athletics, and they should have some confidence going into this game the way they played. But they're going to get smacked in the mouth. Texas is going to put a body on them. They're going to try to knock them around. Physicality will be the deciding factor in this game, in my opinion.
Stay aggressive. If we can shoot more free throws than them, I think that helps us out a little bit. We're really not a sloppy basketball team. We really take care of the ball, so continue to do that. And I think Clay's spot on. We were the more physical team against Kentucky. Are we going to be the more physical team against Texas?
Absolutely. You're right, Matt.
7:30 airtime with Chuck and Zim, and 8:02 will be the tip-off, and then it's Colton Little and Matt Jones on Hog Reaction. Clay, always enjoy these Wednesday visits. Might see you at the ballpark sometime soon. Hope I do.
Look forward to that, Phil. I know that maybe I'll see you in Arlington.
I know I'll be there. I know you'll be there. So let's figure it out. Ruskin and Zach coming up in a moment. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly. And we're back with you tomorrow. I'll be in Stark Vegas. For Matt Jones, for Kristen Johnston, Clay Henry, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for tuning in. That's halftime. Get up, get out, get better.
I know we're always on the go.